I have awakened. Good morning, everyone. Audio coming through now? There we go. Sure I can hear myself. That audio is a little too loud there on the game. Maybe? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Morning, Eamon. Oh, oops, I accidentally clicked that. Okay. Alright, I think we're good. Oh, man. Some mornings just harder to wake up. Alright, good. Alright. Back to our Shinobi. Joe Musashi, I think his name is. Alright, what am I doing here? Okay. Like my outfit. Oh, you can't see my outfit because my head's in the way. Here, I'll do the red one so you guys can see it. Digital Lantern Festival, The Mountain. Alright, let's do it. B is confirmed. I gotta remember that.
Some unusual people have been seen moving in and out of this area recently. I've got a feeling they're doing more than just gathering resources for E&E Corp.
Musashi infiltrates a facility hidden in the heart of a mountain. Have I checked my DMs? Where? On Discord? Not since I woke up. I spent the first 20 minutes after I woke up staring off into space and sipping coffee.
I wonder if that's all there is to it, though. I guess there's only one way to find out.
Gotta remember how to play.
Ah, you figured something nasty was going down here, huh, Shinobi? Well, why don't you take that over there? Something tells me you're gonna need it, pal.
Amen says, careful, I hear the mountain is quite dangerous, prone to killing heroes and setting rural lands on fire. Secure victory against the Starks. Ba-dum-ts. Power booster. Increase your overall damage dealt from melee attacks. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I get it. What can you give me, Pigman? Nothing. I don't have the money. But I should be able to put something on, right? I get a passive. Oh, nope, sorry. Hit the wrong button again. No, wait. I thought I got a double. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, so I either get more gold or I do more damage. We'll do more damage. Oh, you beat it. Nice work. I'm curious, how many hours did that take you? Is it as involved as other Pokemon games? And I gotta say, I'm not sure they knew what to do with the villains and end the game without clarifying much about them. 28 hours. I feel like that's pretty normal for a Pokemon game. Do you feel like you'll give it another playthrough? terrible ninja. And I'm forgetting how to play this game, so sorry everyone. What is that green bar? What is that? Oh, that's my execution meter. I have my own personal rule when it comes to how long video games should be. Oh, hang on. Aim says, I thought about playing it on Sane for the challenge and achievements. It's got 3 rules. 1, if a Pokemon faints, you lose it. Oh, that's cool. Go on. 2, you can only catch 1 Pokemon per location. Oh, interesting. Okay. Ow. Huh. What's the third one aiming? Quick, tell me. Oh, jeez. That's easy. No escape from any battle. Sorry, I had to look it up because I forgot. So okay, so the 3 rules for hard mode in Coromon are if your Coromon dies, you lose it. Faints, you lose it. You can only catch 1 Pokemon per location, and no escape from any battle. It also disables fast travel. That's actually pretty cool. There's so many games I wish that they had a hard mode for that they don't do. That sounds really interesting. Are you gonna give it a shot? Are the battles harder at all, or are they just the same but with those 3 rules in place? It also does it. Oh, okay, alright, I said that. It's basically a nuzlocke. I don't know what that is. Sorry. It's basically a nuzlocke rules even has a randomizer. You can turn it off if you want more of a challenge. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there's so many games that I love that I wish had a hard mode, especially now as an adult. Like, I love Mario RPG. I think it's an awesome starter RPG. It's not particularly difficult. It's got some difficult challenges to it, but overall the game is it's a pretty nice basic RPG. Especially if you're young. It was my first experience with the RPG genre. It showed me the ropes, and they had a hard mode in the remake that came out, but it really wasn't too difficult, so I just wish that they had a harder difficulty for that game. You can play a modded version, which is insanely difficult, which I've been wanting to do for a while now, but haven't gotten set up. It says, while there are many optional rules and restrictions, you could include a nuzlocke challenge consists of 3 basic ones. Any Pokemon that faints must be released or boxed permanently. It is considered dead for the rest. Oh, okay. So this is a personal challenge that you impose upon yourself while you play. So, like, not getting any heart pieces. I like how they have these here just to kind of remind you, like, hey, you know, you got other abilities. You don't have to just keep attacking things. 2, only the first wild Pokemon encountered in the area must be caught if the player failed. Okay, and 3, the player must nickname all Pokemon they catch or obtain. That is technically not necessary, but for the challenge run. But usually, oh, okay, so you have to nickname. That's fun. I can't execute people. Yeah. My own like, kind of getting back to what I was saying. My own personal rule with how I rate game time in a game is oh, hey Tim. Indeed, in all Pokemon it's self-imposed, but in Coromon they made it a mode and gave the players the ability to customize it further. That's pretty cool. Do they give you rewards for it? I need some incentive. Okay, what I was gonna say was my own when I rate a game's length. Okay, now again, this is not the end all and be all. But to me, if I buy a game for full price, like if I pay a full $60, $70 for a game, what I expect out of it in terms of how long I should play the game is about 40 hours. Or sorry, no, that was older. I should get about for every dollar I spend, I should get 1 hour of playtime. That's my own personal rating. So if I get a game on sale for like $5, usually games on sale give me a bit more playtime than what I actually paid for. But if I buy like the Resident Evil remake, let's take the Resident Evil 2 remake. If I buy that for full price for $70, I would say that is a too short of a game, because that was one of the biggest complaints about the remake for Resident Evil 2, was that it was too short. And it was. But it is a fantastic game. So I'm not saying that like, if I were to categorize the different parts of my review of it, I would say it's a little short.
Joe Musashi? He cannot gain access to this facility. Lock this entrance down, lowlives.
I had one person push back on me once, basically saying, "Oh, that's a dumb way to measure how good a game is." And I was like, "Well, I'm not measuring how good a game is by its length. I'm just saying, when it comes to time and money, if I was only factoring in those things, I'm just saying, for every dollar you spend on a game, I think you should get at least 1 hour of playtime out of it. That's all I'm saying." It's not a discussion on like how overall quality the game is or anything. It's just one aspect of the gameplay experience that you have to take into account. Funny enough, Amy says, funny enough, the one rule I don't see in the custom menu that I would have expected is Pokemon can exceed your trainer level. Yes, you have a trainer level. Oh, you have a trainer level like power. That would prevent players from maxing out the powerhouse to clear all content. Interesting. Yeah, I always felt like that rule in Pokemon was very underutilized. I don't know how it is in the... Ooh, cool. I don't know how it is in the newer versions, but they're like, if you have a Pokemon that outlevels you, it won't listen to you. Or it might not listen to you. And you never really experience that in the main game because... if you have a Pokemon that's Does it happen in the new in Pokemon? I can't remember. I know it was a thing in the show. If you got too strong of a Pokemon right away, it wouldn't listen to him. It wouldn't listen to Ash. I don't know. Ultimate Punch. My son tried to carry his level 70 Pokemon over from Sword and Shield, and none of his Pokemon would listen to him. He couldn't get them to perform anything. My love never disobeyed me. Really, that's interesting. Yeah, so it was a thing in the game, but it was never like something that you had to be concerned about when you were playing by yourself. The first run through, because you never really got a Pokemon that out-leveled you so much, or is too far above your point in the game. Ooh, oh, I have more. Thunder Nimpo? Okay, I gotta practice these Nimpo and actually use them. Okay, so I hit L. Okay. Fire. Okay, good. Fool. Can't go up there. There. Gotta find all the secret places. Oh, I can't get back. Okay, that's why. We're stuck. But how do they measure trainer level? I don't remember that being a thing. Ow. Wasn't paying attention. Something I will say, okay. Hang on. Eamon says, I've never played Sword and Shield. Did you try never level? Okay. Something I will say about this game, obviously, I'm not expecting Shakespeare or some high-level story, but I did think they could have done a bit more to sell this whole Art of Vengeance thing. Like, I get that Joe's village is destroyed. I get that. And you could see all of his fellow ninja village people turned to stone or killed. I get that. But there's like telling that Joe's upset and then convincing the audience that he's upset. I don't think they did a very good job of convincing me. What they should have done, you know how remember I said I felt like something really bad was going to happen to his wife, who was doubly vulnerable because she was pregnant, or his apprentice. Like, something they should have thrown in another one like that, at least to show that this person, make it a bit more personal for Joe. And they did some, they're doing some work right at the beginning to get the audience buy-in to care about these side characters like his wife and his apprentice. They need to do a bit more to not just tell me that Joe cares about them, but get me to care about these characters as well. Like, I don't just want to beat the I almost called him Xeno. I still want to beat the Ruse. That's his name. Because Joe wants to beat him. I want to beat him because he killed a character that I like. Like that's the difference I'm getting at here. We needed more of a sad moment at the beginning to really sell that, like, this is vengeance now. That'd be a fun question to ask. What is the what is the one generally considered one of the saddest moments in gaming, or like when's a time a video game really made you feel feel sad specifically? I know mine was my personal one. I know it's not the saddest moment in gaming, but for some reason it got me as a little 10-year-old. I was sad, but Link running away from Saria at the beginning of Ocarina of Time. I have no idea. Like, they did a very minimal to set up a relation, like a friendship between Link and Saria, but it was enough for 10-year-old me to really buy that they were friends. And when he just runs away without saying anything, it got me good. I was sad. And I'm sure for many other people, I still have never played Final Fantasy VII. But I'm sure, spoiler, Aerith's death at the hands of Sephiroth was something that got very many people. Trying to think of some other games that had some sad moments in them. Sorry, okay. Gotta get back to the chat there. Ninja Claws. Oh, now I can climb. Climbable surface appear in yellow. Okay, so what are you guys saying? Eamon says, oh, well, I could have followed the anime method of showing anger by simply having the camera zoom in and oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Funny enough, that's how Mortal Kombat movies started with Sub-Zero killed. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That was the Scorpion's story was the best part of that movie. That not very good movie. Sadly, the plot fell apart after that and became Hollywood cliche filled crapfest. Yes, exactly. Well, everybody loves that actor. I forget his name. That Japanese actor. He's awesome. But yeah, if this whole game is, if the subtitle of this game is about vengeance, they gotta do something to really sell it. I thought the original Ninja Gaiden for the Xbox did a good job. You know, showing all the dead ninjas around and the shrine maiden dying and all that stuff. I'm gonna save my monies. I am interested in seeing the next one, though, with Johnny Cage or Carl Urban. I'm trying to think. What's another sad moment in gaming? Oops. I'm dead. Where do I gotta go? Can I travel to these areas? Oh, yeah, I can fast travel. That's nifty. guess I haven't played very many games that have sad moments in them or sad story beats. Oh, yeah, okay, here's one. This was one that not many people will expect. In in Resident Evil 6. So it's Chris's plot in Resident Evil 6 is basically that he lost his entire team. He lost his entire team in one raid or whatever, and then he just like disappears for 6 months, and then this new side character Piers finds him in a bar and basically like gives him the pep talk and tells him to, you know, stop being a pansy. And then they go back in and then they have their whole adventure. And then again, spoiler for Resident Evil 6. Piers gets infected at the end and then basically sacrifices himself to save Chris. You know, if you take away the ridiculousness of the situation, which it is, the situation is quite ridiculous at that point. It is it's sad. It's a moment that I felt like they earned in what is not a very good game from a story perspective. Piers' sacrifice. Maybe some other people can relate to that. Jackie's death in Cyberpunk was sad, but I was just glad the dude finally shut up and let me do my own thing. Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with that. I don't remember. I mean, I played Cyberpunk. I played it before the recent update that overhauled everything, but after they fixed everything. So, and I don't remember Jackie's death being something very impactful. I need to go that way. Oh, dang it. Yes. No, I keep hitting the wrong... It's a sacrifice in the tutorial intro of the game. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that part. Oh, okay. That's what I was doing wrong. Gotta climb up there. Oops. Oh, that was close. It's supposed to be sad, but I'm happy to move on without the baggage. Like, your Shinobi, your little Shinobi character, who's the plucky Shinobi girl who's talking to you this whole time. She would make for a good sacrifice. She'd make for a good sacrifice to make things a bit more. Oh my God, Ori. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, my I have a funny story, but it's not funny. It's actually sad. I felt really bad about it. My sons wanted to play that game, and that beginning when when Ori's adoptive mom dies, it really made my son sad. Like, he was crying about it. I didn't expect it. I knew it was sad, but I didn't think it was gonna have that effect on him. But yeah, he's in 20 years when he's reflecting on this question, he's definitely gonna remember that. I felt really bad about that. Yeah, that one definitely is a contender for one of the saddest moments in gaming. Does it get undone? I don't remember it getting undone. I mean, he fixes everything. But I don't remember that character coming back to life. Midna almost dying. Zelda's sacrifice and eventual exit in the game at the conclusion that she bids farewell to Link after breaking the mirror. Yeah, Midna's goodbye at the end was fine. Zelda's sacrifice I didn't really think was very... I mean, it's fine, but it wasn't anything big. That's the thing, though. It's... I imagine... Again, I've never written a story before, but I imagine the hard thing about writing a story is, like, in order to make a death impactful, the audience has to like the character. And if they don't, the death doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't achieve the effect that you want it to achieve. But I guess as an author, if you have a character that people like, killing them off seems a little, you know, it'd be hard to do because it would make people angry. But, you know, you kill off a character not to make people feel good, but to get more invested in the story. Oh, they get revived. I didn't know that. I must have missed that when I played that game. Now I can whirl your katana to negate the next attack. The instantly strike back. Great for charging gauges. Ooh, new items. I'll do that later. Well, Midna made a big deal about Zelda's sacrifice as she was dying, begging Link to stop Zelda from using her powers to restore Millie. Yeah, I mean, it was sad. I don't know, just maybe I was in a bad place. Okay, so I have to hit LB to use this. Oh, but I can't. Well, again, okay, so at that point, you only meet Zelda for a brief few seconds. You have very little interaction with Zelda, so why would I care if this character sacrifices herself for another character? I get that it's a... That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's... You know... Midna dying would have been sad at that point, but Zelda sacrificing herself... In Twilight Princess at that point, you have such a little interaction with Zelda. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. Oh, and she comes back, so... Because it doesn't mean anything. See what I'm getting at? Alright. The Metroidvania part of this game is getting a little confusing. No, I definitely do not need to play more Zelda games. I played a lot of Zelda games. Of course she comes back. It's Nintendo's property. Just like, exactly, yeah. Yes, exactly. So, okay. Zelda's sacrifice in Tears of the Kingdom would have been a good one if they had stuck with it. You know, if they had the courage to stick with it. Which, I don't understand why they didn't do that, because it's not like she was dead, and there was probably the possibility of her coming back anyway. And they could have set up another game. You know? Just, I don't understand. But yeah, that's another problem games have. Like, they kill off a character that you like, and then they immediately undo it. Or they kill off a character you don't like, and then immediately undo it. Like, every character in in Metroid Prime 4. And then they actually kill off the characters, sort of, maybe. And then you still don't care because you didn't really like them to begin with. Just like in Metroid Prime 4. Sorry, spoilers. My wife will get not really understand when I talk about this sometimes. Like if we're watching a show, I'll be like, yeah, that character needs to die. She's like, what? What do you mean? It's like, well, maybe they're on like a redemption arc, but they've done too much wrong. You know, that at some point they have to die. It's like they've done too many horrible things to be forgiven. Forgiven completely. Not sorry. To not have that consequence. But games are so averse these days to any kind of... Okay, some games these days are so averse to evoking any kind of negative feeling within the player that I feel like they wouldn't do that. And I think stories in general have that issue these days. You know, we all remember where we were when we saw Mufasa die. I can't think of any children's movie that came out since my kids were born that had that same kind of, like, gut-wrenching moment for my kids. Ori and the Blind Forest. Okay, what is this? Did I miss a platform? Okay, I gotta be patient. I'm not patient. Eamon says if they stuck with it, they'd need to make a sequel, and the director, along with Nintendo, wanted to move away from. Yeah, that's why they did it. But if they had stuck with it, it would have made for a much cooler, like, Oh, come on. Yeah, if they had stuck with it, though, I think it would have done... Dang it. Much more to help out the lore of the game, you know? That would have been a really cool mystery to kind of just tag in at the end there. And then just leave it. Like, oh no, what happened to Zelda at the end of Tears of the Kingdom? You don't know. Maybe in a game, 5 games down the line, she shows up as a dragon again. But they couldn't do that. Tim says, the question behind this question, what endears you to a character? What sets up their death to be sad? It's a good question. Well, I mean, there's like tricks you can do to get the audience to like your character. What's this thing? Like, have them be nice to animals. That's a pretty easy trick to get you to be like, oh, this is a good guy. That's a good question. I'm not... I guess I'm not as well versed in like storytelling. But maybe I'm trying to think of examples of characters I really liked. I mean, they have to have understandable I'm sure I'm sure others have their tricks, yeah. Avon says, that's a good question. I don't think we need much of an investment to feel for a character's death, let alone feel bad for them. Or being a great example. Yeah, but why did you like... Okay, so that's... Okay, let's look at that example, though. That intro scarred a lot of people. Yeah, it did. But, okay, so that intro and the intro to Ori's... Okay, so one... okay. Let's... Maybe we can break this down. The intro to Ori. The character that died... she looked friendly. She was non-threatening. She looked friendly. She had a peaceful life. And I think, you know, she finds Ori and takes care of her. She's very nurturing, very, very lovable. And I think that in being cared for is something that the audience can really, really relate to. Which I think is one thing. Like, you have the character has to be relatable in some way. Okay, I think that's a big thing that needs to happen. You have to know something about them, for sure. So you know, me not feeling sad when Zelda sacrificed herself in Twilight Princess, even though the character was around for longer. I do think there is a difference. There wasn't enough done to sell me on caring about this character. And it doesn't take much. That's the thing I'm getting at. It doesn't take much to sell you on, like, caring for a character. It just takes a basic amount, I think. In the beginning to Up, everyone can relate to that montage. You know? These are lovable people. They told a whole movie in 5 minutes. Yeah. Think of it this way. Would you have been sad watching Disney's Tarzan if his adopted mom would have been killed by the hunter instead of his dad? I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually seen the whole Tarzan movie. I mean, I was sad when Mufasa died. Hang on, I gotta try this. I can't do it now. Often feeling sad for a character relies on them being cute, caring, and often trying their best for you, only to be met with a terrible fate. Yeah, I mean, that is part of it. But again, Mufasa wasn't cute. He was caring for sure. Oh gosh. He was caring for sure. I think innocence is something that gets you to really care about a character, for sure. They have to be perceived as innocent. Undeserving of their fate. Boss battle! Well, to be fair, I don't feel like Mufasa... I didn't feel sad. Oh, who's the heartless one now, Eamon? Eamon says, well, to be fair, I didn't feel sad for Mufasa when he died. I kind of seen it coming and it didn't have the impact. I guess to each his own. You know, like, everybody knows where they were when Bambi's mom died. Oh man, I missed it again. I gotta get better at using my ninja abilities. And that wasn't a boss battle, it was a mini boss. funny. In Hollow Knight, there's a big bug you encounter throughout your adventure, only to die fighting. Yep. Yeah, I remember that one. That was sad. That whole game is sad. Both those games, you just feel depressed, but playing them, but they're good. Only to find out it was scripted. Yeah, you can't save them. Uh-huh. Tim says, I definitely felt sad for Mufasa. Oh, hang on. I'll read that in a second. Smacked him into the laser sword. Laser beam. Ow. Oh no! Oh wow, I'm in the cutscene. Tim says, I definitely felt sad for Mufasa. In his example, that character is virtuous, and they set up that he has kind of a loving relationship with his son, and then his death is a result of great injustice. Maybe that helps too. Yeah. My youngest wants to know if you guys felt sad at the end of Ori when the bird sacrifices herself for an egg. I do remember that. Because again, the bird is not bad per se. It's just trying to protect itself and its eggs. But I think because it's basically the antagonist throughout the whole game, it kind of makes it a bit more difficult to kind of have that same impact as Ori's adoptive parent dying, mom dying. I think another thing too is what made Mufasa's death so more impactful too is that he's the big lion. And you know that there's an enemy that wants to basically kill Simba, but as long as Mufasa's around, Simba's protected, and now that protection is gone, and there's something that there's sort of like an impact that this happens a number of times in stories, and I think it's also a good setup for the death of a character. Kind of raise the stakes is when the protector character dies, because then suddenly, you know, the big gun is not there anymore. It's, again, sorry if I spoil Lord of the Rings for you, you know, whatever, but Gandalf falling in Moria to the Balrog. I remember reading that as a kid, and just that was both sad, but also in my head I was thinking, how are they going to do this now? Like, Gandalf was their big gun. He was their angelic divine protection, and now he's gone. Like, yeah, Aragorn is there. And he's awesome, but you know, when you're dealing with Nazgul and stuff, it hits differently when you need that Gandalf character.
Find and kill the intruder. Under no circumstance may he be allowed near the excavation site.
You heard the boss? Open fire!
One death early on, no one really sees coming. Seeing so many VTubers react to it makes death even worse. Many reload the save prior to completing the side quest and simply elect never to finish it. Yeah. Okay, oh, here's another one. I can't believe we didn't think of this one yet. I've never actually played the game, but this one is infamous. So sorry for spoilers, but everyone's talked about it. But Joel's death at the beginning of Last of Us 2. That one is, you know, I've listened to critics of The Last of Us 2 talk about that death scene, and they hate the game, but story beat wise, they said, yeah, if I was writing the story, I would have killed off Joel too. And it, as a plot device, it works really well. Ellie is the small, vulnerable one. Now her protector is gone. Not just protector, but someone you actually care about as a character, and you wanted more of. I remember watching a clip of PewDiePie play The Last of Us 2, and after that happened, he just put down the controller and he's like, I don't want to play anymore. And that's how you know the impact of the death really hit. But I guess you could go on the flip side too and just ask yourself, why didn't the abandonment of the Federation troopers at the end of Metroid Prime 4 hit as hard as they wanted them, as hard as Retro wanted them to, or Nintendo? Like, what about those characters made them not as likable, is what I'm trying to get at. Ori's a great example of to sadness. Yeah, much like a few of the stories in Elden Ring. I would say all of the side quests in Elden Ring end in, at very least, bittersweet. At the least, and often more bitter. I think there's only one side story in Elden Ring that ends with a sort of happy ending. Amen. I wasn't so sad at Joel's death. I was annoyed and frustrated to how trivial and stupid it was. Simply bad writing. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that was a point they made too. It's like the overall story beat of Joel dying, I think, was good, but it was executed very poorly. A lot of people, like even those guys I listened to talk about it, I think it was Mahler and his crew. Mahler said he would have, if he was writing The Last of Us 2, he also would have killed off Joel, but he would have done it in a much different way. It's kind of like how the prequel trilogy has a real, like, if you lay out the story beats and be like, oh yeah, this is going to be a great story, but then there's a lot of bad writing. Alright, I gotta actually try out this. The RNG required for all those events to come together for his death was mind-numbing. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest critique I've heard of it, is that, oh, Joel would have seen that coming a mile away, from what I've heard. I've never actually played the games. Funny enough, the death in the show caused an 80% viewer drop. Yeah, so again, it can be detrimental. I don't know how many I don't know how many Downton Abbey fans we have in this. We have here, but when the character Matthew suddenly died, spoilers, at the end of season 3, that caused a lot of people to stop watching the show. And it's because they didn't set up his death properly. They set up his death because he wanted to leave the show. He didn't want to do it anymore, and so they just killed him off. Or what was the name of the character in The Walking Dead? She was a little farm girl who no one ever paid any attention to her. She wasn't Maggie. Maggie's sister. Like, out of the blue, she suddenly got like a 3-episode arc with Daryl. And then she died at the end of the arc. That was their attempt to make you care about a character you didn't really care about, and then have her have like an impactful death that you could kind of see coming a mile away. And it turns out she wanted to work on her music career, that actress, so she wanted to leave the show, and that's it. I think the best example of a Last of Us kind of story is Logan, the one with Old Man Wolverine. Yeah, that was a great movie, and his death at the end you saw coming, but it still had impact, you know? Seeing it coming is not a bad thing. Like, seeing a character's death show up is not bad. It still requires good writing, though. Okay, is this a real boss battle for real this time? Mandara. I was about to practice my voice acting, but then it did it anyway. He's talking too slow.
You left me to crumble, wholly at their mercy. Just look what they've done to these mountains. My home.
The diamond in the rough.
In their attempts to make me one of their infernal slaves. Now, Shinobi, face me
The
one.
reveal of Hodor's life in the same episode he dies is also quite sad. I don't remember it. Well, I never was a big Game of Thrones fan. Is Joe's voice a Dark Helmet situation? He just can't talk because the mask is too tight. I can't breathe in this thing. I just love that his name is Joe. It's Sigma. I mean Mandara. I just gotta pull off my infinite air combos. Oh wow, that's a... Oops.
Show me your true power.
I'm back. Oh gosh. He's Joe Everyman. He's Joe Every Shinobi. And really, we are all Joe. Alright, I got it this time, guys. I got it. he didn't do that last time. Oh gosh, I gotta keep the combo going or I'm gonna fall. I'm being very impatient, so... Odor was moderated by Brand going into the past to test his powers. In the books, gleefully bragging about how easy it's to become to take control of him, eventually leading to Brand killing him. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah, talk about an author who has no problem killing off characters. Oh, this guy that's what he reminds me of. He's what's the guy's name from Legends of the Hidden Temple? the big statue guy. You know what I'm talking about? Uh-oh. How was I supposed to avoid that? Oh, I can't. No. Omac. Omac. Yeah, Omac. The Shrine of the Silver Monkey. He's found my laser. Yeah, so okay, this boss I know I can get him. I'm not being very careful. I'm not attempting my usual strategies for these types of games. If this were hard mode, I would spend a bit more time trying to do this right. But I'm pretty sure I can almost damage rush this guy if I just get my combos down. Pew 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 pew. What's he doing? No. Still think J.R. Martin has already completed the last book and won't reveal the release until his death, mostly to avoid potential backlash. I've never heard that theory before, but that's a good one. Maybe that's the same thing that's happening with not Fallout. What do you call it? Half-Life 3. Uh-oh. Okay, see that? I'm actually avoiding attacks now, guys. Uh-oh, oh no, get out of there, Joe! Oh, I can't jump on those? Oh, I didn't do my execution. Shuriken Ninpo. Hurl a giant shuriken that returns like a boomerang. Stage clear. Yeah, I really gotta go to that training room and train.
Naoko, run now! Sensei, can you hear me? Ruse is here, at your house!
Oh my god. No. And here I didn't think they'd have the guts to do it. No! No!
Darling, Tomoe and Yamato, they saved me.
Sensei, good. You're here. Naoko is safe.
Oh.
I'm getting so stiff. Am I dying? I gotta say, it's strange how calm I am. I suppose it's because I know I did the right thing. I followed my mission through to the end. Because that's what my sensei taught me. It's the way of the Aurora. I just wish I could have learned more from you.
Tomoe! Yamato, no! No!
How tragic. I'd hoped to arrive in time. For Ruse to go this far, he must truly fear the Oboro clan. I am no enemy of yours. I, too, have sworn revenge on Ruse. To fuel the cycle of life and death, a single mortal is selected each year to become the next Anku, the new Grim Reaper. None can escape this duty once chosen. The mantle of the Reaper must be passed. However, when the last great exchange grew nigh, the next Reaper somehow refused. Refusing to abandon his loved ones, this man named Ruse rejected destiny itself and stole away the source of the Anku's power, the Death Side. Ruse harnessed his newfound powers to amass a fearsome army under the ENE Corp banner, with the sole intention of ruling the world. I am the Anku, traveler of dimensions and caretaker of the dead. Simply put, I am the Reaper. I wholly understand if you don't believe me. Perhaps you would if you knew that my mastery over souls has been stolen away from me by Ruse himself. That's right. Ruse has taken over as the Lord of Death. And if he continues reaping solely for his own gain, then the karmic wheel will be thrown off keel. The balance of life and death will be forever spoiled. Joe Musashi, I've come seeking your help. If Ruse isn't stopped soon, your world will come to an end. Musashi and the Anku united their efforts against Ian Corp and its fearsome leader. Ruse was being constantly supplied with a near-endless power by the Death Side. So if the Anku was the only one who could reclaim his weapon, he had a vital role to play in Ruse's defeat. Still grieving over Tomoe and Yamato, the vengeful Shinobi could not bear any further hardship.
Wow, a lot in that in that cutscene.
Whenever Ruse makes use of the site's power on a grand scale, I can feel it. This is how I will track him down. As I do this, you should disrupt his front line. Put a stop to enough E&E Corp operations with enough pressure, Ruse will be forced to make a move. That will be his undoing.
Each stage has a hidden an Anku rift. Find them all and overcome the challenges to earn powerful reward. Yeah, a lot a lot in that cutscene. Definitely. Okay, so my first thought is one, because they're turned to stone and not like dead in the like conventional sense, I fully expect that upon fixing everything they will come back to life, which, you know, I feel like one aspect of making you making a death really hit hard is that you kind of have to remove that suspicion from it. Not always, but it just, you want to remove the predictability of it, I think. But, you know, as I say that, I'm thinking of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. Kid me thought he wasn't coming back, or there was the question, I didn't know, but I give it a good 85% chance that once you beat the game and defeat Ruse, your dog and your little friend will come back. They'll be all right. But I do like that. I do like the story beat as a general thing. Like, you know, you think this character is going to be with you the whole time. You ride on your dog, and you're looking forward to more dog riding fights. And no, it's not going to happen anymore. You're not gonna see them anymore, for at least until the end of the game, maybe. So I like that. Definitely would have hit harder if his wife was included in that, because again, she has the double. she's innocent, and she's pregnant, so that would have made it worse. I think it was undercut. This is the same problem that Samus had in Metroid Prime 4, where there were moments where a word from her or a tiny piece of dialogue from her would have like really been impactful. But the fact that they were so committed to her not speaking made it kind of comical. Just like with that, like he just sees his apprentice die in a horrible way, and all he does is just go, ugh. Like that's kind of funny. I know it's not meant to be, but that's the problem with silent protagonists. I think what would have been better was to show a bit more body language from him. I know it's hard to do in a cutscene, but I don't know how else they would have avoided it. You know, even something as simple as Samus like lowering her head in Metroid Prime 2 and closing the eyes of the dead trooper, like that was enough to show her she was sad. But just the scared look of Joe and then going, ugh, like that's not enough. Is it though? There are certain things about this game that make me wonder if the story is a bit of a send-up. What do you mean send-up, Tim? I see your philosophical question, Eamon. What is the heart of the soul? I'm thinking about it, but we'll get to that for sure. What do you mean by send-up? So it make me wonder if the story is a bit of a send-up. Like it's... oh, you mean a setup or a send-up? I do find it a little funny that we were just talking about characters dying the whole episode, and then at the at the end of the episode, 2 characters die. Send up an exaggerated imitation of someone or something in order to ridicule them. Like who's being ridiculed? Joe? So the original Batman television show was a Oh, I see. It's kind of like a parody. So this, you think that this game is playing up the trope of the silent protagonist? Is that kind of the idea? Like, Joe is Batman? Animation's great. Yeah, I don't know, because I think there's... Tonally, I do think this game is trying to take itself seriously. Whereas it was very clear in, like, the Batman TV show that that was not the case. I don't know. Maybe... I mean, the enemy's ridiculous. The original Batman animated series... Oh, no. He's not talking about that one, Eamon. He's talking about the one with Adam West. With like, you know, the shark repellent. the live action one that came out before our time. Yeah. That's what he's talking about. I mean, in that cutscene too, it definitely like raised the stakes. Like Ruse is not just some big bad. He is trying to do world domination, and the world will end if I don't destroy him. And it said that he rejected the Grim Reaper's call because his love for his family. I wonder if they're going to attempt at the end to make him more of a sympathetic villain, but again, that's something they have to do the work for. They can't just... We have to see a bit more of that throughout the game, rather than just, at the very end, him being like, I was just doing this to protect my family. It's like they need to maybe work in some cutscenes throughout that kind of give us a bit more insight into his backstory. But I honestly don't think a sympathetic villain will fit with the kind of game that this is, or the kind of story they're trying to tell. Would you consider this game campy fun? A game that knows it's not serious business? I didn't get that impression from it. I think the campiest aspect of it is the fact that Joe won't speak. I think it's over the top for sure, but not in a way that's different from many other games of its style. Like, okay, they were very clearly trying to go for the sad angle in that death scene of his student and the dog. I didn't expect, like, suspect any kind of campiness from it. That thing usually doesn't happen in a game that's not really taking itself seriously. If they were, I think tonally it doesn't match up. Like, sometimes when the tones clash, it can result in comedy, which is sometimes what you want. But I personally did not get the impression that they were trying to, like, this is a parody campy game. I mean, maybe you guys are, but I feel they're at least trying to, the story is trying to take itself seriously. Yeah, they should have just not given me a dialogue box at all. Yeah, I agree with that. The grunts do make it worse. That I feel like the Metroid issue is them trying to stay true to the character when the story doesn't match. I think it would have been better served as, like, the sprite actually walking up and falling on his knees. That would have been better, I think. Rather than a cutaway to his face and Also, I think they should have, again, the whole turning to stone thing, like, it is a kind of played out trope that's been in games for ever and stories forever. It's like, unless the stone crumbles, like, had the stone crumbled, the statues of the girl and the dog crumbled, it's like they're obviously going to come back. Joe's obviously going to save them. It's my 85% is creeping up to a 99%. That's which is why it would have been more impactful had they died. Like, he killed them outright. And again, the whole opening scene is the whole opening first level. You're walking, you see all your fellow ninja turn to stone. So I wouldn't be surprised if the end, the Grim Reaper gets his scythe back and he's like, I'm going to undo all the rot that Ruse Ruse has caused upon the world, and then everyone comes back and everyone's like, yay, and it's all really happy. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's going to happen at the end of the game. Whereas in, Ninja Gaiden, it's like, everyone's dead. Oh, man. I watched the show, I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. The show went from super fun, silly to super dark. No, I haven't. I haven't watched that. I mean, you can do that. You can have clashing tones. You just have to be careful with it and make sure it's built up. Like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a great example of a show that has serious moments mixed with, like, the campy moments of the horror genre, that just make it fun. And it takes a lot of talent to mix those two together, where if you want the campiness but also people to take it seriously, and if you don't have the talent to do that, it makes everything else worse. Just like what happened with Metroid Prime 4. They tried to do too many things and they didn't integrate them well. It didn't work. Season 2 is all about showing what happens when you abuse someone that has power but won't use it unless forced. Oof. By the way, I had no idea the original Batman was trying to be funny as a kid. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I thought I was trying to be serious as well. Buffy was decent. I also liked Angel. Not super surprised the reboot got canceled, especially after seeing the leaked plot. I agree, 100%. No way would I trust today's writers pool to try to pull something off like Buffy again. I don't think they have the talent for it. Anyway, I didn't want to start another level because I wanted to talk about that scene. Man, I really got to get on. The shorts are nice, but they're not going to be able to do justice to the full conversation. I gotta create longer videos where we discuss this. What do you think of the Firefly Serenity reboot? I mean, I have the same feeling I have with all reboots in today's age. It's not going to be as good. That was Firefly was lightning in a bottle. They had something there, man, and they just did not realize what it was. And I don't think they're going to be able to recapture it. Tim's excited though. There's just it's a whole different generation of. It's basically like our generation is now writing that show. I just don't know if the talent is there for it. The Serenity movie. I just want those characters back, yeah. I know, that's such good characters. Steve the Pirate. The bad guy was a breath of fresh air as well, and the response by the main characters to all the atrocities. Man, I gotta rewatch that show. That was good. Yeah. So again, like I know I'm it's Shinobi. Again, I'm not asking for, just like my critique on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, I'm not asking for like Shakespeare, but I think so far the story's good for what it is. I think the biggest flaw is the fact that Joe's grunts kind of undercut the tension a bit they're trying to build. Other than that, it's fine. I did overall I like the idea of the dog and the little girl being turned to stone, because again it addresses the problem that I brought up at the beginning of this play session, which is I don't feel that Joe's vengeance is justified from a narrative standpoint, in the sense that like it really convinced the audience to buy into the vengeance. Like, I get that his whole village died, I get that, but was it convincing? I feel like now it possibly is, if I didn't have this feeling that they're going to be fine in the end. But I think definitely okay, it's good for right now. Anyway, I gotta run. This was fun, guys.